Okay, here we go. Doing the podcast.
Doing the podcast. It's great that we do these podcasts on Monday nights because Mondays are the days that I don't see anybody. I just work at home all day. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to put on makeup. And then you come home and we do a podcast and I put on makeup for the last hour of my day.
It's a smart way to do it. It's efficient.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it snowed. Yesterday? Tonight? Last night?
No, today.
Our first snow.
Yeah, last
of
night
the
and
year.
today. Yeah,
That's why I'm wearing a thick sweater.
Yeah, finally snowed. Not way after Halloween, I guess, but usually you expect to see something in October, and
yeah.
But here we are, and we had a lighter week.
Yeah, once we're not like, oh, we're so busy.
Yeah, and we got some lighter weeks coming up, but
it's nice.
Yeah, well, let's get into it.
All right. So I can't believe Halloween was just last week. We were looking at what we did and can't believe that it was last Wednesday? Wednesday.
It was
I think
Thursday.
It was Thursday. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before that, going back, we had a class, the stage performance class,
and
moving on stage.
Yeah, and we taught that one together.
Mm-hmm. I love teaching with you.
I know, it really works. We are complementary, I think.
Yeah.
And only 3 people, but it was 3 people who were very interested and
who did great applying the concepts.
Amazing applying the concepts.
Oh, it was just mind blowing. Like when Chuck applied the concept of like turning an angle right on a song section.
Right.
For Rebel Yell or something by Billy Idol. Like he was using one angle for the verse and then another angle for the pre-chorus part thing and then like straight on for the chorus, and it was just like, whoa, everyone was like, oh my gosh, these concepts are so simple and so powerful.
He had turned, you've got a verse and it's got 4 or 8 lines, and then he was turning on the last line, because in Rebel Yell,
it gets louder.
That last line is where it's getting louder. It's almost like a pre-chorus. It's a here comes the chorus.
Yeah.
So he was turning on that line. And when we were like, no, wait, stay in it, and then don't turn until it was shocking how much of a difference that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
And something I always love talking about. I mean, that's just you get more and more. But that was a fun thing, and I'm glad we did that together.
And I really like the new format of breaking up the stage performance class into just these little bite-sized chunks. Like one tiny topic about performance. We had a class before on talking to the audience.
Uh-huh.
This was a class on moving. I think we have a class on like developing your persona. Like what's your unique thing. I think there's 4 of them. I can't remember what the other one is right now, but it'll come up soon.
Well, it's so interesting too how I knew it because we had talked about it, but then I was seeing on the flyers at Performance High the different tracks you can go into.
Yeah, they're just kind of categories of the classes we're offering. Right. So we have things that help you create. We have things that help you navigate the music world.
Right.
And we have performance-related classes.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. I mean, somebody could do all of them if they wanted, of course. But, yeah, I thought it was, I do like teaching with you. Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So,
then we hid on Halloween.
We did hide on Halloween.
So some years here in this house we've gotten trick-or-treaters, and some years we've gotten none. And I didn't want to buy a bunch of Halloween candy, which I knew I would eat before Halloween, and then if it didn't get finished, I knew I would eat after Halloween because I am helpless in the face of a bowl of fun-sized chocolate candies. Just helpless. So we didn't buy any.
Yeah.
And so we needed to not be home for Halloween. So we went to our favorite neighborhood restaurant called Mestizo and had tacos.
Which I know we have talked about on the podcast before, but it is on 38th Street. If you happen to be in the kind of Midwestern side of Denver, definitely check out Mestizo. Great beers, great drinks.
Oh, we had a great time talking to
Grayson.
Grayson, right.
Yes, who public school teacher. Mm-hmm. But he's an empty nester, and as a hobby, he likes to bartend up at Mestizo.
Yeah.
And we'd seen him a million times, but we were there we weren't even there late, but we were the last people there, and so we got talking to him, and oh my gosh, speaking of music,
Oh yeah.
Grayson is apparently a big fan of the band Goose. It's a little hard to Google because Goose could be anything, but Goose Band or Goose the Band.
You can find them on Spotify really
Of course, yeah, yeah. And apparently he's a big fan of them. And so he had bought and was playing their live Halloween show. So we were listening. It wasn't on video or anything, but it was a live stream of their Halloween show. I think it was in Florida, actually. Yeah, he's at St. Petersburg. Anyway, it was an amazing show, and that's part of why we sat there for so long.
We were just loving it, and we didn't know who it was for the longest time. We were just like listening to the music, like, this is a great band. A lot of it was covers. It was a little jammy, but it wasn't a jam band.
That was that was the most fun thing about them, is that like they're definitely a jam band in that they stretch songs out and they solo and they whatever, but it's not the like real mopey. I hear it as mopey. I know not everybody does, but that real loose kind of Grateful Dead, and it's all soft and everything's soft. They're like rocking out, but they just like.
And they did the coolest covers.
My gosh!
They really reimagined them into their own style. So they're very consistent sound. But they did "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" by Tears for Fears. Do you remember?
Well, apparently they were doing a Stranger Things, the TV show Stranger Things. They were doing a themed night, and so apparently, again, we didn't see video, but apparently they were all dressed as Stranger Things characters, and they did the TV show theme, and they sort of closed on it, and then they did sort of a little bit of an encore, so it wasn't literally, but they went back and did the theme from the song, but all the songs they were doing were 80s songs that had been in the...
Oh, okay.
So Stranger Things is...
Oh, because they had the Kate Bush song. But a rock version of it.
But a rock version.
The one that was a hit
Running Up That Hill or whatever it is. So Stranger Things, of course, isn't 80s themed. It's actually a Stephen King themed TV show, but then because of that, a lot of Stephen King came out in the 80s, blah, blah, blah. And so they were playing all 80s tunes from the Netflix show, Stranger Things. And we just had the best time just sitting there and chatting and just listening
and thinking, we want to do a band like this.
I mean...
One of these days, Justin's going to put together a band where he plays guitar and sings, and I play bass, and who knows who plays drums. And that's what it is. And we play in breweries, and we do covers just the way we want to do them, and we jam them out just like that. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna edit all this out.
Are we not doing that?
No, I would love to do that. I have to learn how to sing first. But
all right.
Someday when I do that, look out, because we're gonna. I just think that would actually be so fun. I mean, specifically doing covers that we either just really like and you know so well, and you actually still like, because there's so many covers that you've played a million times, but you don't really like. Well,
we could trade off the singing. I could sing sometimes and just simplify the bass playing, and then when we jam, then I can get more.
Well, and I just thought it would be so fun to intentionally do songs that are like very easy.
Yeah. So
that you can just stretch them out. Yeah. Like, hey, it's 2 or 3 chords, so let's not even talk about how we're gonna do it. Let's just jump into it, and gosh, yeah, we should do that. We really need to do it. We were thinking it sounded so fun listening to those guys. So Goose, the band, check them out. They actually had a huge hit.
Dripfield.
Dripfield. Was it just this past...
it was last year.
Last summer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and they played at Red Rocks. And I think they recently played at Fiddler's Green.
Yeah.
And they have a little bit of a Colorado connection, too. Grayson was telling us that one of the guys in...
The lead singer and guitar player.
Lived in Fort Collins for a little while, and they were playing around here, and then they moved back to Florida. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was our Thursday. It was technically my birthday. Mm-hmm. We just hung out, and we successfully avoided almost all the trick-or-treaters. There was one...
Oh, that's right.
Random wandering... We got back around 9, and there was one little group kind of still...
Of obviously teenagers wandering around. And so we went in the house and, turned off the lights and just looked out the window and made sure they didn't come to our house.
Because our only option, I was gonna have to give him saltine crackers or something. Because like we have
Or ginger
our
chews.
ginger chews. Oh my God, are we getting old?
Saltine crackers.
We have
and
saltines.
do we have any hard butterscotch candies lying around?
It's really. It's getting bad. It's getting real bad over here. Send help, please. I thought we had a great Halloween. I had
Yes.
so much fun.
Me too.
And amazing tacos, which, gosh, isn't that great? And then going into the weekend, actually starting the very next day, you were moderating, I believe.
I guess you would say I was emceeing, and it
emceeing.
involves. It wasn't really much moderation. It was reminding people when it was time for Q&A,
Right.
but basically introducing speakers and closing each session. So I was doing that for the International Voice Teachers of Mix.
Their
and
annual conference.
Annual conference, which
Online.
yeah, online, which was 3 days. So it's a lot of time to spend in front of the computer.
3
let
long
me
days.
tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just.
But I was so surprised because we were talking through who some of the guests were and stuff that you were introducing. And of course, people you already know very well because you're now on the board of...
I'm now on the board.
You're on the board of the International Voice Nerds of whatever. I'm so sorry. Anyway, and you were telling me Dean, who is one of the big founders of that, like,
Yeah.
opened for the Goo Goo Dolls and is taught
And train and oh gosh, I can't remember. Shoot.
And Olivia
Yeah.
Rodrigo took lessons from him.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. He worked with Olivia Rodrigo, and a lot of the voice finalists. I can't remember the name of one of them was made a real career.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the artistic director for the 2002 Olympic Games. He has taught all
Wow.
over the world. I mean, it's more than a lifetime of achievements that
Yeah.
he's had in this one lifetime. It's pretty amazing. And so that was one of the speakers. He's returning to be the interim president of IFTAM.
Oh, okay.
And I have studied with him. But we had the ENT for La Scala.
I mean, can you believe it? La Scala
For
in
Italian,
Italy.
for La Scala, the opera.
Yeah.
What's the name of the venue? La Scala is the venue.
Yeah.
I got to go there. I
don't think I went when I was there.
When I traveled Europe right after college,
Mm-hmm.
the fall of '96, so I went over there for 2 months by myself. I stayed briefly with an Italian woman who was an exchange student in my mom's house when my mom was in high school.
Wow.
And she took me to La Scala
Wow.
to see an opera.
Yeah, I mean, that is the generic... I mean, I don't want to say generic, but if you're like... Quintessential would be the nice way to say it.
Much better word.
It's like the Ryman Auditorium of opera, which is the Ryman is where they do the Grand Ole Opry from
yeah.
Nashville. So it's like this is the epicenter
Yeah.
of, or the most quintessential. I mean, La Scala and the doctor, and I overheard part of it. She at least had a pretty convincing Italian accent. I don't know if it was real, but
But her and voice scientists who have done firsthand research on vocal acoustics, vocal science. I mean, the achievements of the speakers.
IFTAM is a really impressive organization, and Sam Johnson, you were sharing.
YouTube superstar.
You were sharing some of his lesson with me that was immediately useful even to me. Not in singing, but I was like, boy, I can use that with production.
Yeah.
Immediately, because that is a very easy way to understand. And very often we've talked about, like, I know what I need to get out of people. I often don't have the technical background to get them to do it. And so sometimes I just have to be like, nope, not it. Do it a different way. Nope, not it. Do it a different way. Anyway, so you did IFTAM for 3 whole days.
Yeah, and I got a nice email from one of the new IFTAM members today.
Oh,
She
really?
just emailed me and said, hi, I'm a new IFTOM member. I just wanted to drop you a note and say you did a wonderful job emceeing the conference and you looked beautiful while you did it. Thank you so much. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Doesn't stuff like
made
that
my day.
make your day? Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Saturday, I went and did a home recording class because we're just doing classes right and left. And this one was on recording vocals, home recording vocals. And I think it went really, really well. I knew one of the people that took the class I had worked on some artist development stuff with, so I knew her well. I didn't know the other two. It turned out to be all women. I didn't know them. But we just had such a great class, and it was really fun. And it was so funny, too, because she was like, one of them, Michelle, very nice lady, and was like, at the end of the class was like, oh my gosh, thank you. This was amazing. I feel like I learned so much. And I was like, no, you learned everything. That's all of it.
That's all there is to know about recording vocals.
I mean, it's so. I've just become fanatical about, and that's not literally true. And we didn't get into, of course, advanced, techniques and stuff like that. But I've gotten so into the really isolating the things that are like, is this always going to be the best way to do it? No. Is this a way you can do it that will never cause you a problem? Yes. Like, what are the things, and even some of the plugin settings and stuff where you're just like, hey, if you set a compressor this way, maybe that's not the best thing, but it will never get you in trouble. It will always be okay. And I've really kind of gotten that philosophy going because, as we were talking about after the class, it really has occurred to me that the best thing we can all be doing is trying to make lots of art and letting go of some of the preciousness and some of the like perfecting this and that. And it's like, no, man, that works. That sounds good. That sounds good enough. Let's move on. Let's do another song. And along the way, you're going to get better and better and better. So no worries there, but that's one of the ways you get better, is it just took, I mean, I knew that's something John Kerswig said to me years and years ago. He was like, heard something I had recorded like pre-computer, like a 4-track thing or something. And he was like, that's really good. You just need to do that 100 more times, And I was like, I got it. And I think that really was true. I mean, I think I have said to plenty of people, I don't think I got good at mixing records, and I still don't think I'm great, but I can do it. But I think I had to mix about 30 records to get to where I sort of knew what I was doing. And so that's been some of my focus as from the teaching side is like, let's get some rubber on the road.
Yeah.
Here's the things you can do that will serve you just fine. And here's 3 places to EQ. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about a 4th place to EQ until you start hearing. For now, 3 places.
And now just go get some reps in.
Let's go.
Speaking of reps, back to the IFTOM conference, Dean has taught over 100,000 voice lessons.
That's unbelievable.
And Marianne taught her 52,000th voice lesson between days 1 and 2 of the conference. She had a voice lesson in the morning before the conference started, and she has been counting 52,000. I have no idea how many voice lessons I've taught.
I know.
But I ballparked it, and I'm pretty sure I'm over 10,000 at this point.
I would guess you would have to be. And we were talking about it at dinner. We're going to talk about our fancy birthday dinner we went to. But, the literal teaching is not necessarily your biggest focus in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, the education thing and educating yourself and all the,
But yeah, in order to grow the business, I literally cannot teach too many hours.
Yeah.
There's so much energy you have in a day. And
you can only do so many things. I can only
put it in so many places.
And then you're still actively performing.
Yeah, that sure takes a lot of time.
It does. It really does. So, anyway, as promised, let's talk about our fancy birthday dinner.
Okay.
We went to a place called Sapsua, which, by the way, the reason I picked it and made reservations there was the New York Times, I believe, put out a list of the 50 best restaurants in the United States for the year. I mean, it wasn't like a all-time list, but 2024 best restaurants in America, 50 restaurants, and a couple of them are in Denver, and Sapso was one of them. So we got a reservation and we went. It was Vietnamese, but fancy fine dining Vietnamese. I was amazed at the amount of fresh vegetables and herbs. Like each dish was just
Yeah.
piled up.
I love that.
Yeah, and I don't know it's one of the three best in the.
It was really good.
It was delicious.
Not. Yeah. It was excellent, but there are a couple restaurants we like better in Denver.
Yeah, and gosh, the ambience was great, and our waitress was great and helpful and knew a ton about the menu, and just it was a very relaxing place.
And you had cabbage that you liked. This is weird.
They did this cabbage, and I don't normally love cabbage. I mean, I love coleslaw, but can you really call that cabbage? It's just like, Anyway, they apparently confit the big cabbage leaves, which is basically soaking in fat. In this case, they did it in oil, which makes it very soft. And then they grilled it super hard so that it got crunchy. So it was this crunchy but soft inside cabbage. Mm-hmm. It was blowing my mind. And then it had, I don't know...
anchovy breadcrumbs.
Anchovy breadcrumbs and...
And they had a little sauce on the bottom, right?
Oh, that's right. They had some sort of egg yolk... almost like a mayonnaise, because mayonnaise is mainly eggs, but it was like a mayonnaise thing. And like, gosh, now that I'm saying it, was sort of a deconstructed Vietnamese coleslaw. They got me. They bamboozled me. They just served me coleslaw that they didn't bother to stir together. No, it was, I mean, I couldn't believe I was freaking out over cabbage. Like
I know.
I was just, it was so delicious. And then we got a fried chicken thing for like kind of the main course. And boy, was that like.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just crunchy. And yeah, man, we've had some good chicken lately. But so that was our fun night out for birthday. Sapsua, absolutely, as a new experience, there were a lot of new flavors and new dishes without being like, hey, we're going way out of our way to eat weird stuff. It was all, the tuna thing that we had was great. Yeah, we had a great time. And that brings us to today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing to report about today.
I have been working super hard on Caitlin Klickman's Christmas album, which should be done by Wednesday.
Woohoo!
And I've just been really pushing myself on that, pushing some boundaries, really, because it's not music that I haven't done, but I don't often have to do a lot of piano playing and different things.
I had fun helping you out with that.
You did the vocals you did on How Great Thou Art are nuts.
I want to hear them again. It was really fun.
We should pull them up.
You said record a choir. I want a choir on these lines. And I was like, all right, you asked for choir. And so I doubled all the parts that I recorded. So I did a harmony above. She's already pretty high, so there's not a lot of room above. But
there is not a lot of room above Caitlin.
But I was way up there.
Yeah.
So I had a harmony above, and then I had a harmony below, and then a second harmony below, and then an octave, and then a harmony below that.
Yeah.
All of that doubled. And I kind of like gave different shapes to my
It
my
was
sound.
fun. I was like doing laundry in the background, but it was fun listening to you do it because you were...
I was intentionally not 100% blending with myself.
Yes. So it really did sound like a choir. Caitlin's going to hear it soon. And boy...
Super
just
fun.
Thick and rich and whatever. I mean, it was so funny when we were doing the one song that we did with Hazel and Coco, and even Hazel and Coco were like, Caitlin, I don't know how you're up there. I mean, her comfort range,
It is high.
and it's not stressful for her to be up
Yeah.
there. It's just,
That's her sweet spot.
that is her sweet spot. And it's actually helped to a degree, and this is something we've talked about on the pod, just to mention again. Like, one of your big challenges with producing music at all, or orchestrating music or whatever, is not letting everything sit too much in the same octaves. And very often you run into this problem where singers who are more tenors or whatever it is, but they're more right in the middle of where the guitar is and stuff, it becomes this challenge of like, how do I not make all the parts be like right in roughly the same notes? And how do I get some things that are outside of that and whatever? And it would be just as easy with a very low singer. In a way, with Half Zen, it's generally pretty easy because he's staying pretty down there. I mean, he might get up to like an E flat above middle C, but like it's in general, it's pretty easy to get above the vocals. Or in Caitlin's case, it's pretty easy to get below the vocals. And so it like gives you a lot more options than if it's just a like right up the middle C kind of vocal. Yeah. Not that it's not doable, but it's just whatever. I think you're done.
I keep yawning. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm done. I've been working hard today.
You say that you have. I find you laying on the couch a lot.
You weren't home all day. You don't know that I was laying on the couch.
Yeah, but I don't know that you weren't. So, anyway, we're going to close it down. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
You never trust me.
I can't.
You don't believe anything I say.
Can't help it. Can't help it. Thank you guys again for listening. I'm sorry we yelled at you last week about going away, but none of you did.
That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Maybe it was. Who knows? These things are getting, they're running together a little bit.
They sure are.
Oh, and the weeks are. But we're coming up on a lot of fun stuff. We're coming up on Christmas season, and we've got fun gigs coming up with Cody. We've got some fun, I've got a few fun little gigs coming up, and then we're going to be traveling for the holidays in not too long. So already time to start planning for that. So
yeah.
Anyway, we just want to thank you guys for watching. Oh, if anybody has any ideas for Thanksgiving dinner, I don't know if you can comment or...
Don't comment because I don't read the comments.
I do read the comments.
You
so
do?
I read and reply to all the comments. So if you would like to comment,
good. Okay.
I will read and I will we actually got one negative comment somewhat recently. We apparently said something that struck somebody as being negative. And they were like, maybe you should try getting out and performing. And we were like, who wrote that? The whole podcast is about us getting out and performing.
Okay, well, we're reaching outside of our friend and family circle,
maybe
I guess.
we are. I don't know. And I was like, thank you very much for the feedback. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're whatever.
Did you actually say maybe you're right?
Yeah, why not? I don't know who that was. It cost me nothing.
Between the two of us, we do like 100 gigs a year. Maybe we should try getting out and performing.
I don't know. I think it might have been related to Ambrosia. So that might have been why we pulled somebody from...
Oh.
I don't know what it was, but... there were like... It was one of those... I don't know how much internet you guys consume, but it was one of those comments where like there's like words missing and like... I very nicely said, maybe you're right. Thank you for commenting. And thank you for watching. But guys, if you want to comment, you absolutely can. And I will say something to you. Bob Qualls says hello, by the way. He commented.
Oh,
yeah.
how sweet.
So anyway, let's close it down. We are sponsored, as always, by Vietnamese restaurants like Sap Sua and Performance High.
Voice and Music Studio.
There we go. All right. So we're going to be the ones to back away. I think let's just back away slowly.
Okay. Leaving.
Hey.
Leaving.
Hey, keep it
Bye.
calm. There's no worries.
Bye.
Everybody, This is an easy thing. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
You can knock over the gear.